Alright, so January 2023, paper 1, mathematics. There we go. We have the nil formula sheet here. And question 1. So what is the value of the digit 2 in the number 48.621? So 48.621, all we do, draw a vinculum, we put the 1 by the dot, and we put some zeros until we reach the 2, and we can see that that is 100th. That is 200th. The answer is A. Number 2, what percentage of 50 is 10? Be very careful with this. Remember, maths is a language, right? So what percentage of 50 is 10? And well, essentially we could see here that the missing number will be 10 over 50, which is 1/5. And of course we could just multiply that by 100 to actually tell us what percentage it is. It's 20%. In standard notation, this number, 0.02086, is written as, well, I'll probably want the point over here. And to get the point over here, I would have to go 2 spaces. So it'll be 2.086 by 10 to the what? Where do we want the point to go from here? Do we want the point to go in this direction? No, we don't. We want the point to go in this direction by 2 spaces, so it'll be to the -2. And that is C. In a school, the ratio of the number of pupils to the number of teachers is 20 to 1. So I have the students here, 20, and teachers here is 1. So if the number of pupils is 840, how many teachers are there? Well, what multiplied by 20 will give me 840? I think it'll be, looking at the answers here, 42, right? 42 by 2 is 84, and you have the extra 0 there. So obviously you had to multiply this by 42 as well, and the answer is 42. Number 5, a bag of apples can be shared equally among either 6, 10, or 15 children. The minimum, and when they put minimum in capital letters, you know it means something. The minimum number of apples that is likely to be in a bag is, well, we have 6, 10, or 15. The minimum will refer to the LCM, which is the lowest common multiple, which will be 30. 30 is a multiple of 6, 10, and 15. It obviously will not be 31. It is also the least. Number 6. If 4.3 multiplied by 0.37 is that, then what is 43 multiplied by 0.37? Well, if we notice here, the number of decimal places in this question is 3, and we have 3 decimal places in the answer here. So similarly, the number of decimal places here is 2 in this whole question, and so 2 decimal places is what we are looking for. The answer is B. And remember, for the paper 1, you're actually not allowed calculators, right? So you have to pretty much know all of this stuff. Question number 7. Which of the following sets is defined by x is an element of z, which is integers. So x is an integer, right? Between -2 and 4. So when we see the x in the middle here, that means it is greater than -2, but it's less than 4. So x is between -2 and 4. And this little equal sign here, right? Less than or equal to. So that means that we are including the -2 and including the 4. So I have to look for the -2 and the 4 and all of the integers in the middle. The answer is D. So item number 8 refers to the following Venn diagram, which shows 2 intersecting sets, P and Q. In the Venn diagram, the number of elements in P is 5. So that means that in this entire set, we have 5. Yeah? And then the number of elements in Q we see there is 9. So the whole of Q, that includes the intersection, we have 9 there. Right? However, we see that the number of elements in P union Q means everything in Q and P, this whole section here, all and everything inside of there. Well, everything inside of there adds up to 10. So P, the number of elements in P union Q, is 10. But we see here that 5 and 9 is definitely more than 10. So what's going on there? Well, let me see what the question asking us for. The number of elements in the shaded region of the Venn diagram. Well, this will kind of help us out a little bit, because we could see here we could actually use these, but essentially, how could 5 and 9 give us 10? Well, remember, this 9 includes some guys from here. So this is, this 5 includes some guys from here. So how many guys are there in that little section? Well, if there was 1, right, which is A, then there would have to be 8 here to give you 9 in this Q, and then there would have to be 4 here to give you P, 5 in P, right? But we could see that this does still not add up to 10. So obviously, it would probably have to be 4. Right? We could see with 4, we would have to have 5 here in order to give us 9 in Q, and we would have to have 1 here in order to give us 5 in P. And so 1 and 4 is 5, and 5 is 10. So inside of there, we have 4 elements. Question number 9. We are into the sets question here. Which of the following pairs of sets is an example of a disjoint set? Which of the following pairs of sets is an example of disjoint sets? Disjoint sets do not intersect at all. They don't have anything in common. Yeah, no intersection there is happening at all. So, even numbers and odd numbers, this might be it, because there isn't really an intersection there of even numbers and odd numbers. Multiples of 2 and multiples of 3, no, there are numbers like 6 which will be in the intersection of that. Whole numbers and rational numbers, no, because a whole number could be 2 and the rational number is 2 over 1. So I think that there is an intersection there. Multiples of 5s and multiples of 10, no, obviously not. So it would have to be the set of even numbers and the set of odd numbers, and we could see that these sets will not intersect. They are disjoint. Number 10. All students in a class play Scrabble or checkers or both. All right. So we have Scrabble, we have checkers, and in the middle there we have both. Right? If 36% of students play Scrabble only means that they are not a part of the intersection. So in here we have the 36%. Right? And 16% of students play both Scrabble and checkers. So we have a 16 in here. Right? What percentage of students play checkers but not Scrabble? So checkers only. So they say all students in the class. And this word all means a lot, because all means 100% since we're talking in percentages here. So therefore this entire figure needs to add up to 100, right? So we have 16 and we have 36. So 36 plus 10 is 46. 46 plus 4 is 50, plus 2 is 52. So we have 52 here. And I'm just doing that verbally because remember, in this exam we do not have calculators. So you do have to kind of work it out. And then, well, 52, we have 48 there to give us the 100. Yeah? Right. So number 11 refers to the following Venn diagram, which shows two intersecting sets. The number of students in each set is indicated. So we have students in a set here, and we have the set H, the set V. We could see we have, important to note, 3 students who are not in any of the sets, right? We can see set H have 7 students in it. Set V has 6 students in it. And so, in the Venn diagram, U students who play games, H students who play hockey, V students who play volleyball, and obviously we have some students here who play both hockey and volleyball, right? So question 11 actually says, how many students play either hockey or volleyball, but not both? Well, we can see here that we have, remember, either or, that is an add, right? And when we talk about and, we're talking about multiply, right? So 5 either hockey, 5 or volleyball, but not both. So we're not including these 2 there. So the answer will definitely be 9. Number 12, the set of 2-digit numbers, 2-digit positive integers that are divisible by 7. So that would be like 14 is divisible by 7. 21 is divisible by 7. 28 is divisible by 7. So on and so forth. This is an example of an improper set. No, infinite set, it's certainly not infinite. An empty set is certainly not empty, but it is a finite set. It only has a certain number, up to 12 sevens are 84. In fact, the last one would be 14 times 7, which is 98. Yeah, so it's definitely a finite set. It only contains these guys. It don't contain no more. For every $100 sales or part thereof. All right, question number 13. For every $100 sales or part thereof, a salesman is paid $10 as commission. If his sales for a particular month are $1,020, how much commission was he paid? So I have $1,020. My question is, how many $100 are there in 1,020? So you basically have to divide that by 100, and we could see there that we have how many tens in 102? Well, 10 tens are 102. 10 tens are 100, and we have 2 remaining. So this is 10 times that he made a $100 sale, and then or part thereof, so 11 commission payments he's making. So therefore the answer will be 11 by 10, which is $110. Okay, number 14. The simple interest on $600 for T years at 5% per annum is $120. Find the value of T. Well, the simple interest is a simple interest question on this. This will be the principal. For T years, this is the time, this is the rate, and per annum is, this is actually the simple interest. The simple interest is, yeah, be careful with the English there, right? So simple interest, 120, is equal to principal times the rate times the time over 100, right? So we have to pretty much make T the subject to the formula. So we throw the 100 across, and we see we will get 100 multiplied by 120. And then we have to throw this 600 by 5 across. And so it'll be divided by 600 times 5, and that will be T. And is anybody looking like that? Yep, 120 divided by 600 times 5, and that's B. Okay, so question number 15. At a bank, EC is 2.6, so $2.60 is equivalent to 1 US, right? So I have EC and I have US. So I have 2.6 to 1. I don't need the 0 at the end. Yeah. And for every US exchanged, 10 cents EC, look at that. All right, that could teeth up your head. So I could actually put that here. For every US exchanged, 0.10, right, 0.10 EC is deducted. All right, so how many EC dollars will Leon receive if he exchanges 1,000? So let's do the exchange first. So we could see that at this exchange rate, if he exchanges 1,000, well, then we have to multiply this by 1,000, so we'll get 2,600. So if he exchanges 1,000 at the exchange rate, he is supposed to get 2,600, but we have to make the deduction, right? So for every $1, he has to be deducted 10 cents. So that means that for every $1,000, for every $1, he'll be deducted 10 EC. So if I multiply this side by 1,000, I have to multiply this side by 1,000. So 1, 2, 3, and I will get 100 with the decimal place over here. So this will actually be $100. And so therefore, if he does take out 2,600, he'll have to be deducted by $100. So that means that C, $2,500 will be his takeaway. Number 16, a calculator which is marked at $120 is sold for cash at 30% discount. How much change would Susan receive if she pays for the calculator with a $100 bill? So 30% of 120 is 36, and so the discount would be 120 minus the 36. So that will give me 120 minus 30 is 90, minus another 6 is 84. And so therefore, if she pays with $100, 100 minus the 84 will give me 84 plus 6 is 90 plus 10, so that'll be $16 change. How much change would Suzanne receive? Number 16. Okay, so number 17. A man pays 60 cents for every 200 meter cube of gas used, plus a fixed charge. If he pays $178.75, well, that, when he uses that 55,000 meters cube of gas, how much is the fixed charge? So he pays 60 cents for every 200 meter cube, right? So I wonder how much 200s are there in 55,000? Let's find out. So 55,000, how many 200s are there in 55,000? So that'll be 550 divided by 2. What's 55 divided by 2 is 27 by 2, so it'll be 27.5. So that'll be 275. So 275 200s, and yes, no calculators allowed, so you do have to do these things in your brain, right? So 275 200s in 55,000. And for every 200, it have 275 in them, but in every 200, he has to pay 60 cents. So we had to do this in my brain now, right? So 275 times 6. Let's go 275 times 6. So 6 5s are 30. 7 6s are 42, 43, 44, 45. 6 2s are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, I do have to use dots. I'm a visual guy, right? So because of that now, you might want to think of this as 2 decimal places, but no, this is only 1. The 0 doesn't count. So that decimal place has to go there. So this will actually be $165. $165 he would have to pay, plus the fixed charge will give him the 178.75. So that means that the fixed charge will be 178.75 minus 165.00. So we'll have the 75 on this side. 8 minus 5 is 3. 7 minus 6 is 1. 1375. The answer is A. Okay, so number 18. A plot of land is presently valued at $12,000 and appreciates. That means it gets more expensive, right? In value at a rate of 2.5%. So what I'm going to do is find 2.5% of 12,000. What will the value of the plot of land be 1 year later? So 2.5% of 12,000, that will give me, let's see, I have to do 120 times 2.5. So 120 times 2. So 12 twos are 24 plus the 0. So that's 240. And then 120 times a half. That is 60, right? So 240 and 60, that will give me 300. So 300 is how much more expensive it'll get every year, and after 1 year, it'll be the 12,000 plus the 300, which is D. Okay, so number 19, a loan of 8,000 was paid back in 2 years at monthly payments of $400, right? The interest on the loan as a percentage was. So a loan of 8,000 was paid back in 2 years, 2 years being 24 months. And each month is 400, right? $400. So how much money did we pay back? 24 multiplied by 400. Well, let me multiply 24 by 4. 4 fours are 16, 2 fours are 8, and 1 is 9. So that is 9,600. And, well, that was the amount paid back. So that means that 9,600 minus the 8,000, that gives us about 1,600. That was the profit, I guess. The interest, sorry. The interest on the loan is 1,600. So what is that as a percentage now? Well, that means that I'll have the 8,000, the 1,600 divided by the 8,000. How did I get that? Well, remember, I want to know what percentage of the 8,000 is 1,600. So that means that 1,600 is divided by the 8,000, and I have to multiply it by 100 to give me the percentage. So 16 divided by 80. Well, I know that 16 divided by 8 is 2, and therefore 16 divided by 80, I'll carry the decimal place one step back, so it'll be 0.2, right? So 0.2 times 100 is 20%. The answer is D. Okay, so number 20, an article bought for $125 was sold for $175. The profit percentage as a cost of the cost price was, well, the profit percentage of the cost price. Remember that, right? So let's find the percentage first. 175 minus 125. That gives us about 50. So remember, the profit percentage is the profit 50 over the cost price 125 multiplied by 100. How many 50s go into 25? Well, I have how many 50s here? How many 5s? I actually have 5 25s, right? So we could actually cancel them in terms of 25s. I have 25 into 2 here, and I have 25 into 5 here will give me 125. So I have 2 over 5 multiplied by 100 over 1. So that's 200 over 5. That gives me 40%. The answer is B. All right. So number 21, the product of a number 2p over 3. And the product means I'm multiplying it by its reciprocal. The reciprocal just means I'm flipping it. Right? And 2p over 3, 3 over 2p. The answer is C. Number 22. The area of the rectangle in centimeters squared is x squared. The equation that may be used to find the value of x is, well, we know our area of a rectangle is this multiplied by this, right? So it'll be 2 multiplied by x minus 4, and that will give us the area, which is in x squared, right? So x squared is the area. Yes, the answer is 8. Number 24. If 3 plus x over 2 is 1, the value of x is easy peasy. 3 plus x over 2 is equal to 1. I'll throw the positive 3 across, so x over 2 is equal to 1 minus 3. X over 2 is negative 2. Throw the 2 across, x will be negative 4. The answer is B. Number 25, we are dealing with the laws of indices here is the same as, well, we know 5 to the n plus 1 multiplied by 5 to the n plus 2. In a multiplication, you have to add the indices, so that's 5 into n plus 1 plus n plus 2. So that'll be 5 to the power of n plus n is 2n plus 1 plus 2 is 3. So 2n plus 3, the answer is B. We have linear operations here. So A asterisk B is A squared plus B squared. Let's just write that down. A asterisk B is A squared plus B squared. Nice. So what is 3 asterisk 4 brackets asterisk 2? Well, BODMAS does apply here, so we want to do the brackets first. So let's just do the brackets. 3 asterisk 4, that will be, look, 3 is A, so I'll just put 3 where A is, 3 squared, plus 4 is B, so I'll put 4 where B is. Yes, it is as simple as that. So 3 3s are 9 plus 4 4s are 16, 16 and 9, 16 and 10 is 26, so this is 25, right? So now I have 25 asterisk 2. So 25 asterisk 2 will be, well, this is A, so it'll be A 25 squared. Oops, sorry, let me just clean that up. 25 squared plus 2 squared. So 25 squared is 625. This is one of the square numbers you should probably know. Plus 2 2s are 4, so that will give us, oh look, we didn't even have to work that out. It's 25 squared plus 2 squared. Yes. Alright, number 27. If the modulus of A is 0, then A is a singular matrix. So we're talking about matrices here, right? So a singular matrix, the determinant of a singular matrix is 0. Ooh, I actually went from 22 to 24, so I missed number 23. So let's do number 23 now. Althea normally saves X dollars each month, but in the month of June, she saved 4 more than twice her usual amount. So if she usually saves X dollars every month, then twice the usual amount will be 2x, and then she saves 4 more than that. All right, so in June she saved 2x plus 4. And so now we are from 27 going to 28, and we are in the world of vectors and matrices apparently. So if A is this matrix, then the order of the matrix is, well, remember order is rows, so we see in there we have 3 rows by 4 columns. 3 by 4 is C. Number 29. If the vectors P and Q are 3, 2, and negative 1, 4, respectively, then minus P. So minus 3, 2, or minus 2, negative 1, 4. And what will that give us? Well, I'll have minus 3 and minus 2 here. And I'll leave this minus sign here. 2 times -1 is -2. 4 2s are 8. Right? So I basically multiplied the 2 without thinking about the minus sign. So now I could think about the minus sign. So there's -3, -2. -3 minus -2 is -3 plus 2. And that is -3 plus 2 is -1. And then I have -2 minus 8. So -2 minus 8 is -10. So look, we have D. Okay, so item 30 refers to the following diagram of triangle OLM in which R is the midpoint of OL. So I could see that R is the midpoint of OL. Further, OR, so OR is equal to 3A minus 2B. So OR, this little section here, is 3A minus 2B. Just this little section here, OR. Right? And OM is 2A plus 3B. So O to M, this entire thing here, is 2A plus 3B. Express LM in terms of A and B. So LM is here. So LM will have to be LO this way plus OM. And we know what OM is. OM is 2A plus 3B, right? So LM will be LO. LO will be minus in the other direction, right? So it'll be a negative. Because remember, OR is this direction, so LO will be going in the opposite direction. So that is where that negative comes from. And then is minus, well, if this is OR and OR is the midpoint, then OL will be 2 times this. So it'll be minus 2 times 3A minus 2B, and then you have OM here, which is 2A plus 3B, and we just work through the magic. -2, 2 3s are 6, so that's -6A, and 2 2s are plus 4B, plus 2A plus 3B. So what do we have? -6 plus 2 is -4A, and then 4 and 3 is plus 7B. So that'll give us 7B minus 4A. It's always good manners, and we can see that that is B. So item number 31 refers to the following diagram, which shows a cylinder with diameter 6 centimeters and height 20 centimeters. All right, I can see that. The volume of the cylinder in centimeters cubed in terms of pi is, and in terms of pi means that they should probably have the little pi's over here, right? But let's see in terms of pi. So I know that the volume will really just be the area of this circle multiplied by that 20. So the area of our circle is pi r squared, and then I have to multiply it by the 20, which is the h, and that'll give us the volume, right? So the volume will be pi r squared. Well, r is 3, so 3 squared plus by the 20. So that will give us pi times 9 times 20. 9 2s are 18. So that'll give us 180 pi. The answer is C. Item 32 refers to the following diagram, which shows a circle center at O, and with a sector and major and minor arcs indicated. So I see the major arc, the minor arc, blah, blah, blah. E to F. If the area of the minor sector, EOF, so that is this area here, the area of that minor sector is 103 centimeters squared, then the area of the circle in centimeters squared is what? So if we look at this 60 degrees here, 60 all over the entire circle is 360. So that means that 6 sixes are 36. So this little piece here is 1/6 of the entire circle. So therefore, if that little piece is 103, then 6 of those will give me the entire circle. So I have 103 by 6. So 6 times 3 gives me 18. 0 times 6 is 0 plus 1. And 1/6 is 6. So 618. If it took a speedboat 9 hours to travel a distance of 1080 kilometers, what was its average speed in kilometers per hour? So yeah, so speed is distance over time. So it took a distance of this over 9 hours. So 1080 divided by 9. Well, I mean, we know that 9 into 18 is some sort of a 2. And then we will have 108. 9 into 108 is 12, right? Yeah, and so we'll just have to add the next one, 0. So yeah, the answer is C. Number 34, the lengths of the sides of a triangle are that. So you can see here we have some sort of an isosceles here, because this 2x and this 2x will be the same, and therefore this will be x. Drawing a diagram is always helpful. If the perimeter is 20, what is the value of x? So the perimeter is when I add them together. So 2x plus 2x plus x will be 20. So that is 2 and 2 is 4, 1 is 5, x is 20. So x will be 20 divided by 5, which is 4. Okay, so number 35, 50 guests had 2 glasses of champagne each, so that would make it 100 glasses of champagne. And each glass held 150 milliliters. So that would be 15 with 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that's 15,000 milliliters. How many liters of champagne were used? Well, if 15,000 ml, and ml is 1,000th, so you have to, that means that 15 liters times 1,000 will give me how much milliliters it is. So number 36, a square has the same perimeter as a rectangle, with length 15 centimeters and width 11 centimeters, right? So 15 plus 11 plus 15 plus 11, that will give me the perimeter. I have to add all the way around. So that'll be 15, 11 by 2 is 22, and 15 by 2 is 30. So that will give me 3 and 2 is 5, 52. Yeah, so 52 is the perimeter here. And obviously what we want is a square. So a square is all sides will be the same. So that means that 4x will be equal to 52. Right? Because if I have x, all sides are the same, then the perimeter will just be adding 4x's together, which is 4x, right? So therefore x will be 52 all over 4. So 52 all over 4. 4, I know 4 into 10 is 40. 4 times 12 is 48, and another 4, 13 will give me 52. So what is the area of the square? So the area of the square will be this multiplied by this now. So 13 times 13. So I could, how I could work this in my mind is I could say, well, okay, that'll be 13 times 10 plus 3. So 13 times 10 is 130 plus 13 times 3. 3 3s are 9. 1 3 is 3. So that's 169. The answer is D. So the circumference of a circle is 154. So the circumference 154. What is circumference? Circumference is 2 times pi times the radius, right? So they gave us pi as 22 over 7. So 154 is 2 times 22 over 7 times the radius. And they want to know what the radius is. Oh my, this is a little bit tough. So let's just see to do in our head. 154 is equal to, well, 2 times 22 is 44 over 7 times the r, so I could just throw over the 7. So 7 times 154 divided by 44. That is what r is going to be. I mean, you know, 7 threes are 21, so this will be 3 point something. So let's just say this will be 3 point something times 2. So this will be 6 point something. Right? So this entire thing will be 6 point something. So it'll really be 154 divided by 6 point something, which will give me R. And 154 divided by 6 will probably be around, 25-ish, because remember 100 divided by 5 is 25. So 154 divided by 6 will be maybe about 25-ish. So maybe the answer we could settle at 24.5 would be around the radius, right? Okay, so number 38. The distance around the lake is 8 kilometers on a map. This distance around the lake is represented by 2 centimeters. So 2 centimeters to 8 kilometers. That would mean that 1 centimeter would be to every 4 kilometers. So I'm looking for a kind of 1 to 4 kind of thing. So these two here, right? So the scale on the map is, 1 centimeters. How many centimeters are in a kilometer? So 100 centimeters is in 1 meter multiplied by 1,000. 1 centimeter, 100 centimeters are 1 meter, and 1,000 meters give me a kilometer. So it would be D. So number 39 and 40 refer to the following table, which shows the number of books that 58 students bought at a sale. So I've seen the number of students here, and this should add up to 58. And these are the number of books bought. The mode of the number of books bought is, well, the mode being the most frequent, so we could see that the number of books here is 5, and notice the mode of the number of books. A lot of people do not put the 13. The 13 is the number of students. That 13 is how many students bought books, and so that means how popular it is, right? So how popular was the number of books? Well, which number was the most popular? Well, 5 was the most popular, yeah? The median number of books the students bought at the sale. Well, we know median to be the one in the middle, so like 5 or 6 is in the middle, but when we're dealing with a frequency distribution, it's not as simple, right? We have to look at the 58 here. So this should add up to 58 students. So what's half of 58? 58 divided by 2 is around maybe 29-ish, right? So 29, that is the middle, right? That's the middle of the distribution, is around 29. So where does 29 occur? Well, 9 and 9 is 18, and 18 plus 10 is 28, plus 3 is 31. So the 29 does kind of occur here in the middle of the distribution. So that means that the median would actually be 5. Okay, so item number 41 refers to the following pie chart, which shows popular games played. So I could see there tennis is 36 degrees. So 36 over 360, that is 1/10. So this is 1/10 of the entire circle. Football, I can see this is 90 degrees, right? So if 180 students played football, so I have 180 students in here, right? How many students are in the full group? Well, interesting, because I could see here that 90 degrees is pretty much give me 180 students. So therefore 1 degree will give me 180 over 90, which is 2 students. And therefore the full circle, 360 degrees, will be 2 times 360, which is 720 students. That's interesting. That means I didn't need all of that percentages and all of that. Right? So item 42 refers to the following chart, which shows the amount of fish bought in kilograms by the first 60 customers at a fish market. How many customers bought at least 6 kilograms of fish? How many customers bought at least 6 kilograms of fish? Well, we can see 6 kilograms here. At least means 6 kilograms or more. Right, so they buy 6 kilograms and they buy more. At least means, if you have at least $2, that means you have $2, but you can have more, right? So how many customers bought at least 6 kilograms of fish? 6 kilograms or more. So we could call this 11 here. Then we could call this 5, 4. We could call this 7. We could call this 3. So we just have to add this up. 4 and 3 is 7, and 7 is 14. 14 plus 5 is 19. 19 plus 10 is 29, and 1, 30 is C. '43 refers to the following diagram, which shows the cumulative frequency curve of the heights of 20 plants. Okay, so I see in cumulative frequency there and the different heights. The interquartile range of the set of instruments is. So if this is the entire range here, the range is going from 0 to 10. That means that 5 will be Q2. So that means that like this 2.5 here will be Q1, a half of 5. And then over here, half of 5. So if this is 5, then if I count 2, 5, 6, 7, so 7.5 here will be Q3, 7.5. And so the interquartile range will be Q3 minus Q1, which is 7.5 minus 2.5, and that will give me about 5. Item 44 refers to the following table, which shows the results of a survey of 100 people, right? From 2 major ethnic groups, P and R, respondents were interviewed about their attitude towards mathematics. So this is an interesting thing here. Positive, neutral, negative, and then total. So we saw that 60 students came from, is it students or people? 60 students out of 100 came from ethnic group P, and 40 students came from ethnic group R to give us the full 100 here. A respondent from ethnic group P is selected at random. All right. What is the probability that he has a negative attitude towards mathematics? Yeah. Well, you're selecting from P. So that means you're selecting out of a total of 60 students, because you're selecting from P. And how many of them have a negative attitude? Well, 24 have a negative attitude. So it'll be 24 out of 60 which is about 2/5. So the answer is D. The point where a linear function crosses the horizontal axis is. So the point where a linear function crosses the horizontal axis, that is this axis here, that is the x-axis, so it is the x-intercept. Alright, so functions and relations for number 46. The following mapping diagram. So I could see here the relationship that best describes the mapping is many to one. This is a many to one relationship. So each one of these goes, we can have many of these. So this one and this one going to this one. So many to one. So it's C. Number 47. If h of x is that, then the h of minus 6, so the h of negative 6 is 3 times negative 6 minus 2 all over 5. We just put the negative 6 where x is, so 6 3s are negative 18 minus 2 all over 5, negative 20 over 5. The answer is negative 4. 48 refers to that quadratic equation here. The maximum point of this quadratic is this point. And this point is the point 2 on the x, 4 on the y. So it's the point 2, 4. The answer is D. The values of x at the points where that equation intersects y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0 is the x-axis. So where does it intercept the x-axis? At 0 and at 4. So x is 0 and x is 4. Which of the following equations represents a straight line? A straight line is y is mx plus c. So I must have, indices of 1 here, which you don't usually have to write. 1 is understood. And so obviously b and d are out because they involve x squared. So it would have to be c, because this does not involve x being multiplied by y, and we could see here that with a, x is being multiplied by y, so that will not be a straight line. Yeah, so the answer is C. Which of the following sets is represented by the function f of x is x squared plus 3, where x is an element of 0, 1, 2, 3. So if x is 0, 1, 2, 3, then f of x being x squared plus 3, right? Well, if x is 0, f of x will be 0 squared plus 3, which is 0 plus 3, which is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. And I'm only seeing 2 here that match that, which the x value and the y value. So 0, 3, 1, 4. And 2 2s are 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 here, 2, 7. It would have to be D, 2, 7. The line L is parallel to the line that. What is the gradient of L? Well, we'll first have to put this in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So 2x minus 5y minus 8 is equal to 0. We're making y the subject to the formula. So minus 5y is equal to minus 2x plus 8. Throw the 2x and the 8 over, and so y will be negative 2 on negative 5x plus 8 on negative 5. This is the only thing I care about. Y is 2 over 5x there. So we see m is 2 over 5, and a parallel line will have the same gradient, and so 2 over 5 is it. Question 53 refers to the following diagram of a circle. Circle theory time. If 0 is the center of the circle, then y degrees is, well, we know that the subtended by the same arc, the angle at the circumference will be half the angle at the center, or the angle at the center is twice, so it'll be 100. Number 54 refers to the following diagram. So we see here we have parallel lines and a transversal. Which of the following best describes the relationship between x and y? Well, those are alternate angles, and alternate angles are equal. So x is equal to y there. That's number 54. Number 55 is a big piece of mess here. 55 refers to the following diagram, which shows a rectangle and its image, x, w, x, y, z, and the image w prime and w double prime. So after it undergoes a composite double transformation. So this is the object here, and it first transforms to the image w prime, and then the secondary image here. So we could see straight up that we have a translation going this way. Actually, no, it's not a translation. And look at it. A translation would have had w prime over here. Yeah? Because w prime would have been moving here. So it's not a translation. It's actually a reflection. Look at it here. This reflection here, w here, w here. So it's actually a reflection in the y-axis. So we can see that B is the only one that has a reflection in the y-axis, followed by an enlargement centered at the origin with a scale factor of 1/2. Yes, B. So the reflection, and we can see it's not a translation. A translation is if we literally took up the entire rectangle and moved it here. So that means that W would have been here and X would have been here. But no, that's not what's taking place. So it's definitely the reflection first, and then the enlargement of 1/2, which shows that it is getting smaller. Absolutely. Number 56. In each of the following diagrams, A prime is the image of A. Which of the diagrams shows the reflection in the x-axis? So I see in here A and A prime. A reflection in the x-axis will be this, D. If this is A, then the x-axis will be like a mirror, and this is A prime. In triangle ABC, angle A is equal to x degrees, and angle B is 2x degrees. What is angle C? So if we have angle A is x and angle B is 2x, what's the size of angle C? So angle C, remember all of the angles in a triangle will add up to 180 degrees. So it'll be 180 minus whatever this is. So this is 3x. So 180 minus 3x is A. Number 58 refers to the following. We see here a right angle triangle, and we're talking about an angle of depression here of a point X from a point Z. So you're standing up here, and this is eye level, and this is how much you have to look down in order to see x. So the angle of depression is not measured from here, it's actually measured here from eye level, from horizontal eye level, right? The angle of depression of the point x is 35 degrees. If x is 12 meters away, we see the 12 there from y, then the height is what? Well, if this is 35 degrees, then this will be 35 degrees because this eye level here and this will be parallel, and so we have 35 degrees in there. And we see we're dealing with a trigonometry question, so that means that this will be the adjacent and this will be the opposite. So tan of 35 is the opposite over the adjacent. Alright, so the opposite being the height, and so we have to throw across. So the adjacent, which is 12 tan 35, will give us the height, and that is D. 59 refers to the diagram of a right angle triangle here, the right angle triangle above. The trigonometric, which trigonometric ratio is 4/8? So it depends on the angle that you're looking at. Yeah, so 4/8 is different things from different angles. So let's just write down SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA. Yeah, so SOHCAHTOA means that, what do we have here? From y, right? From y, it would be 4 would be the adjacent, and 8 will be the hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse is the cos of y is 4/8. We don't have the cos of y there, so we'll have to look at x. From the perspective of x now, this will actually be the opposite and the hypotenuse. So we see opposite over hypotenuse. Yes, sine of x is opposite 4/8 hypotenuse, sine x. And last one, number 60, under the translation, the image of 5/3 is, under the translation -2 3, the image of that is, what is the image? This is the object. So that means we're taking the -5 and the 3, and we add in the -2 and the 3. So -5 plus -2 is -7. 3 and 3 is 6. So we will actually reach here, -7, 6. The answer is C. Okay, that's it for paper 1. Check out the next video for paper 2.